everybody, and good morning. Yes, this is test one of several tests that we're going to do here in the long-range Model Y. First test today will be to do a baseline test, and what our series of tests encompass is pulling a trailer. Yep, EVs do pull trailers, and the Model Y here is no exception. It'll pull 3,200 pounds with a 325-pound tongue weight. It's not the biggest brute to pull anything, but if you haul stuff around from here to there with a trailer, the Model Y will do a fine job. So today we're going to actually test that. We're going to start our first leg of the test here by going up here to the Columbus area, and we're going to get on Highway 74, and we're going to take 74 all the way down past Forest City, and we're going to turn around right here, and just short of the cliffside exit, we'll turn around and come back on 74. We're going to do 4 laps, which means 1 down, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to end it at the same place we started it. Reason we're doing this, we want a baseline of exactly what this car will do without a trailer. We know pretty much what it'll do. I've done a bunch of range tests here in the Model Y. I have not tested the new 2022 Model Y with the Aero wheels, so that should be an eye-opener. We're going to run the test here on the highway at 65. We'll be running autopilot and cruise control. For those of you who do not know what autopilot does, it allows us to maintain our speed the entire way. We'll loop around here, come back, and loop around here in the Columbus area, and go back and forth. 4 laps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once we do that, we will gather all the information and we will compile it to see how much energy we actually used. My co-pilots today, Hank and Luna. They're hanging out back here. They're in their little dog thing that we got from Tesla. And this is what my wife normally carries the dogs with. They go with her all the time, and so today is no exception. All right, guys, are you ready to go? Luna, are you ready to go? Yeah, I bet you are. Okay, let's hit the road. I've charged the car to 92%. I figure we'll use some of that to head up to Highway 74. It's about 4.5 miles. We're just about ready to start our test here. Get in on Highway 74. We'll reset a couple things. My guesstimate of how much the battery had in it is probably getting close, 91%. Take a look at the trips, trailer here. We'll go ahead and reset that. If I don't drive off the road. There we go. So now we're reset, and the test is starting. We're going to do 65 the entire way for 4 laps. 1 to the end, 1 back. 1 to the end, 1 back. And then when we get back here, that'll be concluding the test. It'll be over 100 miles. Don't know exactly what it'll be, but it'll be something like that. And here we go. So it's 65 here to start, and then the speed goes to 70. We'll set this to 65 on autopilot, and we're good to go. And 90%. So it's a good guesstimate here. Once we got up on the highway, it went to 90. All right, well, let's let it go. The temperature is set to 68. My co-pilots are here, Luna and Hank. They're in the back seat. And we're just going to tool down the road here for 4 laps. The wind is calm today. It's maybe a mile an hour or so. It's not coming from any particular direction. I think it's coming maybe from the northwest. This particular road goes east and west. Looks like we got some conundrum up here on the right. We better move over. Looks like somebody's getting a new house here. Maybe there's a problem with something. That's okay. Highway 74 is not well used. It has its times where it's busy, but it's not so bad. Seems to be a nice day. The temperature is shown on the car now, 83. We're approaching our first turn. We get off here, turn around, and head back down Highway 74. That particular one is exit Caroline Ellenborough 187. That's where we get off here. All right, let's check the stats. It's 11:05. Make that 11:06. And we've traveled 31 miles, used 8 kilowatt hours, and an average rate of 260. We are now westbound on Highway 74 at 65. We're at the end of lap 2, or segment 2 of 4. Anyway, we're off here now at Columbus. We're going around the roundabouts and where we got off. And then we're going to get back on Highway 74 here in a minute after we get through all the roundabouts. Timing is 11:31. If I can look at the trip data. We've got 58 miles driven, 16 kilowatt hours used, and an average of 266 kilowatt hours per mile. 266 watt hours per mile. Wow, kilowatt hours per mile, that would be a lot. Anyway, here we are. We are going around the roundabout, a couple roundabouts here, and back on the highway. And this will be segment 3 or lap 3, whatever you'd like to call it. We are back on Highway 74. Let's look at the stats. This will be leg 3 or lap 3. It's 11:33. So far today, we've driven 54 miles, 15 kilowatt hours of energy used, and 277 watt hours per mile consumed. All right, lap 3, 70%. Just going through Forest City here now, and the dogs, my co-pilots, we have Luna. Hey, Luna. Luna, say hi. And then Hank. There's Hanky. I don't know if you can see him. I can't see what I'm videoing, but that's Hank and Luna. Luna just looks outside as we drive. This is our exit. We'll be getting off here. All right, 80 miles driven, 22 kilowatt hours used, and an average of 277 watt hours per mile. This is the end of segment 3 or lap 3. Westbound now, Highway 74, 61% battery. We have 11:59 now, and heading down the road. This will be our last lap or last segment. Here's a little fun fact. When I got off the highway there, we had a lot of regeneration in the green. And then I had to accelerate to get up on the highway, and they were almost equal. So what does that mean? No real change in energy used? Could be. Just getting off the highway here now. We're going to go around a few of the roundabouts, and I'll get pretty close to where I got on, so we'll have an accurate record of how many miles actually driven here. Here we are. We are going to do the roundabout here, and just basically where we get on right over there. We're going here. Did 107 miles, 29 kilowatt hours used, and an average of 271 watt hours per mile. That's what we did for our test here. So we're heading now over to pick up the trailer. It is a 4x8 U-Haul, and we'll go ahead and drag that home, and we've got some tests tomorrow. Of course, that'll be here in just a minute. I've rented a 4x8 trailer. As you can see, it's not very high. We're going to haul it home and configure it. We're going to do some additional tests now. Trailer's connected, the safety chains are on, but they're about 10 miles long, so I rolled them a little bit. I forgot my adapter, so it's okay. I think we're ready to go. This is the profile for this trailer. It is 4 feet tall and 8 feet deep. and 4 feet wide. Aerodynamics should be reasonable. Pulling the trailer now at 40, it's empty, so it just kind of rattles around. Listen. An empty trailer bounces all over the place because the tongue and the ball and all the stuff that's not super tight rattles around a little bit. Hello everybody and good morning. Today Greg and I are taking the Model Y here with the U-Haul trailer. It's a 4x8 trailer. We are heading up on what we did yesterday to do a baseline. We're hauling an empty trailer. The trailer has about 300 pounds of junk in it, simply to keep the weight on the tongue so that it doesn't rattle us to death here. It's early, it's 7:40, we're hitting the road. It should take us a couple hours to do that. We are starting with 91%. By the time we get up to the highway, we'll be approximately 90. We will then reset the trips here, and we will change this to part 2, which is today, and we are good to go. We took a bunch of heavy stuff, put it up there in the front, and it'll give us some tongue weight now. Hopefully it won't rattle too much. We've left the house, we're heading up, and gonna start our run here once we get up into the town of Columbus here now. We're in the town of Columbus here now, and you guys have been with me enough to know that every time I drive somewhere, no trip is even possible without a Scottish breakfast. Today is absolutely no exception. Even though we're pulling the trailer, we are taking the trailer through the drive-through. Yes, sirree, Bob, we are. And as long as we don't exceed the height, we'll be okay. Greg says, yeah, as long as we don't rip the place out, we're good. Anyway, I think we're good to go here. We'll take it wide. Well, that's a good thing. See, we didn't rip out the drive-through here with the trailer, so it's all good. We have our Scottish breakfast, about to get on the highway here, so I'm going to get my co-pilot here. Greg, if you'd be so kind, in the middle one there.
Which one?
Right in the middle at the bottom.
Oh.
It says reset.
Yeah.
Hit that. Oh.
Come on.
Here we go. And then reset.
Reset. Okay,
there, we've reset the trip now. And that will reset our usage and everything else. It is 8:01 a.m. There you can see it. 8:01 a.m. We have 89% battery, and we are heading out. 72 degrees this morning. We're up on the highway. We are on cruise control at 65. You cannot run autopilot pulling a trailer, and that sucks big time, but it's the way it is. If we look at our consumption down here, oh, stay on the road, Dave. No autopilot, dang it. You rely so much on autopilot that you get used to the car just staying where you left it. Anyway, you can see we had quite a bit of energy to come up to speed. It will stabilize. And after, 50 miles or so, the energy should stabilize and we'll get a good reading of pulling this trailer. Now, the conditions are as follows. This is a U-Haul 4x8 trailer, single axle. It has approximately 300 pounds of ballast. We did that because without putting ballast on the front of the trailer to hold the tongue down, it tends to rattle around, and that noise was heard or is heard here in the car. We're going east and west here on Highway 74. It's 31 miles per leg. There are 4 legs or 4 segments, or what I used to call 4 laps. And that will give us a good estimation of what difference we have. Yesterday I drove the Model Y, and same exact route, same exact speed. Temperature and weather conditions were very similar. Today we have little or no breeze, which is perfect. And since we're going east and west, we null out any wind coming from one direction and usually comes from the west here. So it gives us a good idea of what to expect pulling a trailer. Today's test will be all about aerodynamics. There's essentially no weight in the trailer other than that 300 pounds, but that's equivalent to maybe a couple people here in the Model Y. So there you go, that's the conditions. Yes, my window is filthy. It is the outgassing of the internal materials in the car. Normally you don't see that, but we're going into the sun. Greg cleaned his a little bit, and I think I'll try to do mine. But without autopilot, I am on cruise control. However, I do need to pay attention to where I'm driving. There you go. Those are the conditions. Now, eat my Scottish breakfast. Oh, forgot. I'm co-pilot. And look who's here.
Hey, I'm good. Now I'm going to eat my breakfast. I'll be even better after that.
Yeah. So Greg's along today, and I apologize for not mentioning it earlier, but he's co-pilot today. All right, we're off here at exit 187, just like yesterday. Of course, we're using one pedal driving. All right, let's have a look at the specs here. It's 73% battery. It's 72 degrees. If I take a quick look at the trips, we've got today's distance 26 miles. It's interesting. 12 kilowatt hours and 450 kilowatt hours used. So here we are. Quick look here now that I can see what I'm doing. It was 26 miles on the first leg, and it was 12 kilowatt hours used, and an average of 453 watt hours per mile used. We're off at the end of segment 2, or lap 2. We'll loop around here and get back on the highway. Let's have a look here. 54 miles driven, 24 kilowatt hours used, and a rate of 460. All right, we're gonna get back up speed here and get back on the highway. This will be leg number 3, lap 3, or segment 3. Pick one. 54% and it's 73 degrees. We're off the highway and we're ready to turn around here. We're at 80 miles, 37 kilowatt hours used, and an average of 459 watt hours per mile.
You're okay.
All right, here we go. There you go, a GM Volt with a V. That is a hybrid, one of the very first ones actually. It has a larger battery. I guess it would be termed a plug, what do they call it? A plug-in hybrid with 30 to 40 some miles of range on electric. We're at the end of the 4th lap. We're at the end of the run. Let's have a look at some of the stats here. All right, here's the stats. 108 miles driven, like yesterday. 50 kilowatt hours of battery used. Average of 459 watt hours per mile. We're down to 21%, or 70 miles of range, and it is 78 degrees. So that's today's stats, pulling an empty trailer with about 300 pounds in it just to keep the tongue happy. Now we're heading back to the house. We're going to charge up. We're going to load up the trailer with probably 1,000 or more pounds, and we're going to take off and do the loaded test later today. All right, Greg, how many pounds do we have total now in the trailer?
1,008 pounds and 9/10.
Okay, good. And this is what it looks like now? Yep, I put all kinds of junk in here that's heavy and distributed 2/3 of it up front. Okay, we're going to finish charging and get on down the road. Just like a trip, I've got both my next week-long bags. I got 2 weeks worth of clothes here. The pups are in the car. All right, so we got Hank and Luna. More ballast. You guys ready to go? All right, just in the car. Let's have a look here. We're at 92%. 92% will get us over to the highway. And it is now 100 degrees according to this, but it's been sitting here charging in the sun. All right, I think we're ready to go. The dogs are here, some suitcases are here, and we have over 1,000 pounds of payload into the trailer. We're going to do the same route as we did. Let's go. We're off here. And yes, the answer, if you can feel the weight, I sure can. It is more, obviously, than we had before. We've got Hank and Luna. It's over 100 pounds. I've got my 2 weekly bags for my next coming trip. They're probably 60 pounds, maybe 70 together. They're in the back. The trailer has over 1,000 pounds in it. And Greg and I. So Greg, of course, takes up most of the weight. Don't you, Greg?
Yeah, that's probably another 300 pounds by the time you add it all up between the two of us at least. Although we hate to admit it.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, it should be pretty representative of exactly what we will be doing when we take our trip in this thing with this trailer. All right, Greg just reset the trip meter. And it should read part 2 and we should be good.
Yeah.
Yep, so we're all reset there. It is 88% as we come up onto the highway. It's 92 degrees, so it should be interesting. We're going to take it easy like we did, 65, and we'll see how it goes here. We're moving on down the road. We're doing 65 on cruise control. We've got 84%, and as you can kind of see, we're probably 20% into the leg here, the first leg. We're at our turnaround point here. Well, let's take a look at the stats here now. Okay, reading should read part 3. It's 26 miles, 13 kilowatt hours, and 480 watt hours per mile. We're now westbound again here on Highway 74, 71% to 89 degrees Fahrenheit. We're here. We're off at the end of the second leg or second lap, however you want to do it. We are getting back on for leg 3. Let's have a quick look here. 54 miles driven, 26 kilowatt hours used, and an average of 484. And currently it's not so bad. Currently it's 53% and 91 degrees. And we're sitting here at 70 degrees in the car. All right, let's see what we got here. 36% on the battery, it's 91 degrees. And we'll have a look here. Looks like nobody's behind us. We can stop for a minute. All right, so let's have a look here. 80 miles driven, 38 kilowatt hours used, and an average of 479. That's down a little bit. All right, here we go. We're getting back on. This will be the beginning of segment 4 or lap 4. Yeah, you know you're going slow when Walmart passes you. This is the end of segment 4 or lap 4. We will get off here and go around, and when we get over about where we started, we'll have a look. Wow, okay, 107 miles, 52 watt hours per mile driven, and we've got an average of 480, and it is 19%, and it's 89 degrees. All right, well, that's the numbers as they stand. We're here just where we started the test. So we're head back to the house now, and we'll compile all this data. I've arrived here at the house. I have 16%. Total miles driven from 92% to 16% is 112 miles, 54 kilowatt hours used, average of 475 watt hours per mile.